Well, another fun conversation. We kind of dived into it a little bit recently, but I want to ask you after watching that Warriors Maps game, the Warriors seem to have conquered their road demons and got a win on the road, second one in a row. The Western Conference, BJ, it got me thinking, right? Who in the West is beating the Golden State Warriors in a 7-game series? Because they're still without Wiggins, who should be coming back at some point. Steve Kerr said that they hope to get Wiggins and Gary Payton back, both those guys being huge for their championship run. If I had to put you on the spot and press you for a name right now, because I think health is the most important thing. KD coming back
If
for the
you're
Warriors,
saying in
LeBron
a
coming back
series,
for the Suns, LeBron coming back for the Lakers. Who are you picking in the West? I think about this every day for most
yeah.
of the day.
Well, I will say this. I'm just I have to go by what I see. Okay. Now what I see and what I feel is two different things. So I'm gonna go by what I see. Based on what I've seen, the Warriors are probably in the second tier of the Western Conference. I don't think they're
Okay,
in the top four based on
give
what
me
I've
your give
seen.
me give me your tiers.
Well,
Who's in the top four?
I think Denver, I think Memphis, I think Sacramento, and I think Phoenix are probably in the first tier.
I don't have Denver in my first tier. I know it sounds ridiculous because they're the
Oh
number
yeah,
one seed.
they've been the most consistent. But again, I understand how you may feel based on what
Mm,
I've seen. I got to give them their respect. I don't care what I may think about them. They're number one for a reason. There's something in that team that maybe I may not be seeing. I don't watch them every night. I watch them. I've watched a fair amount of their games, but I have to give them their respect, and I have to give them their respect that they have a player that I know is a top 5 player. I know that. And for the most part, he will have the advantage on the offensive end in every series he plays in. Okay. If he's not the best player in that series, he without question, he'll be the second best player in that series, no matter
yeah,
what.
it's
Okay.
only like Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry when we're
Okay.
talking offensively.
Because it always comes down to the matchups. Okay. It always comes down to matchups. So, but I do think the Warriors are in the next tier. I don't know where they're at, 5, 6, 7, or 8, but I do think they're in that next tier. And I don't think it really matters to them as long as they get in. Okay,
So
so go ahead.
when we talk about winning the conference, though, give me your top three in order from 3 to 1 of who you actually think
I
will
think if
be
the
there in
Phoenix,
the
I think if the
finals.
Phoenix Suns are healthy with Kevin Durant, I think they are. I think they are. I think that's a team with Kevin Durant and Booker
And it
and
speaks to the
Aiton.
greatness of Kevin Durant that no other player, I don't think any other player in the league can go to a new franchise, miss all this time with injury, and turn up on the first day of the postseason, and you still think that they can make a run at the finals. That's just how great he is at basketball player that he can just slot in
Well,
and play.
listen. Do I think he's going to do that? Do I think it's going to be easy? No, I don't. However, the way they play today in the games and the ability to rest. See, that's the key. When I get to the playoffs, you're not traveling every day to go to another city. You play, you probably have a couple of days off, and you stay in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Just like playing in the bubble was probably easier than playing during the regular season because you walk to the bus, you ride over to the game, you ride back, and now treatment is like you've got double the time for treatment.
Yep.
Okay. Do I think Kevin Durant on 2 days, 3 days rest playing in the playoffs with his experience? That's a check for him. It's not like
Yep.
there aren't a lot of players who could do that, but I think he has enough game experience. He's a championship caliber player where he could do that. Now, I'm not advising people to do that, but I think he can do it. So I think if they're healthy with DeAndre Ayton size, Kevin Durant size, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul, I think they're poised
Okay.
to
They're
really make a
three.
playoff.
So who's
Okay,
the other two?
okay. I think I got to go with Denver. I'm going to give Denver their respect, even though I don't believe it. I'm going to respect them, and the reason I'm going to respect them is because Jokic has shown me this. No matter who's playing, he's always in the game. He's always in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Now,
yeah, no doubt.
and I'm going to respect this about him, Mo. Yes, I every team I see the flaws, right? So I'm just going, God, I wouldn't mind attacking them. right? Why? Because I can see what I can do. However, you know what I really respect about them, and I don't want to discredit. I know Jokic is going to show up every game and play.
Yep, no doubt.
So with that, Mo, you're going to have to beat him. He's not going to beat himself. And when you're a big Mo and you're capable of doing a triple-double, playing within the framework of a team, that says something, regardless of what you're doing, okay? You could be a guard and not shoot the ball well. Well, Jokic is going to shoot over 50%. I can about put that in pen. He's going to be somewhere near triple-double. And at some game or two, he will win a game or two in a series by himself. Mm-hmm. And if he gets that unlikely contribution that I'm always looking for, he can win a ready by himself. If he just gets a little
We're
help.
ready for the Bruce Brown game. Ready for the Aaron Gordon.
So I'm going to say him, okay, and then I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say Sacramento. Ooh. And the reason I'm going to say Sacramento because of this. They've been playing hard from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
They play confident. Now you could see the one thing that bothers them. When you bring a more physical style of play versus them, they're not as successful. However, you know, and what does that look like? They play the Celtics, they lose. The Knicks came out there and beat them up, even though they did win. The Knicks had 21 offensive rebounds. Okay. Mm-hmm. But they did win the game, but Coach Brown was not happy about it. And then Milwaukee beat them up. So your Celtics, Milwaukee, and the Knicks, who are all in the Eastern Conference, plays that physical style of play against them.
We're going to talk about it on tomorrow's show.
And then that bothers them. However, those teams are out East. So if they play the Memphis Grizzlies, that style is good. If they play the Warriors, that style. I think they play the Warriors style of basketball better than the Warriors right now.
Shouts to Mike Brown.
Okay. I think they're a better pace team than Memphis. I think they're a better pace team than all the other guys.
He said that Sabonis is the closest he's seen to Draymond in terms of grabbing a rebound, pushing the ball out on the court, making the right read.
He plays the 5. That of course. Draymond starts at the 4. People, if you want to just break it down to make it real simple, Draymond came in this league as a 3. Yeah. At his size.
Well, he came in the league. The reason why he fell to the second round is because back then, I think it was 2012, he was drafted. Scouts and teams didn't know what position he'd play because he wasn't quick enough to be a 3 and he wasn't big enough to be a 4. This was before small ball came along fully. So that's the reason why he fell down to the second round.
Absolutely. So with that, and then he started playing the 4, and then no one, myself included, imagined that he was going to be playing the 5. And now he can bring the ball up the court. And that's what Sabonis does for a full 48 minutes. So, of course, because no one, the centers, as I tell you all the time, Mo, that's the last position that's figured out how to play in this era. So Sabonis is doing exactly what Draymond does, except he's a better offensive player and he plays one position. He doesn't go back to the 4. Okay. So I think he's great. I think that's great. But I think they can play a style better than anyone else in the Western Conference. I think they're the fastest team in the Western Conference, whether they played OKC, whether they played Golden State, whether they played Minnesota, whether they played the Clippers. I think their speed is a problem for any team. Now, if you can beat them up a little bit now, because their power forward is Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes and Giannis is a problem. Harrison Barnes versus, Julius Randle, that's a problem. But Harrison Barnes, if Zion was healthy, that's a problem. Okay.
Yeah, but lucky for them, they don't see any of those guys in the West.
There you go. And that's why I think those would be my top 3 if everybody was healthy.
I hear exactly where you come from, and I think they're great picks. I'm going to throw all basketball logic out of the window.
Okay.
And say I'm right there with you if KD's healthy. I think the Warriors, when we talk about championship DNA, if they get Wiggins back, I like the Warriors in 7 games against anyone. Their experience and Stephen Curry, and if we get a Game 6 Clay, I don't think anyone's messing with the Warriors.
I can't argue with that.
because I'm throwing all logic out the window here. Give me the Lakers. If LeBron's healthy, then I just have this vision that this is all going to accumulate in NBA Twitter hell if the Lakers somehow do something in the playoffs this year.
Well, I just hope they get in.
Never
They've been incredibly inconsistent.
If they can get in and LeBron can get healthy in a series with a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, which is a big caveat, but a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, I like what D'Lo brings. I like what Vanderbilt brings. Austin Reeves is playing great. I like the Lake, and I may be completely delusional here, but I've learned over the years to trust LeBron James.
Okay, well, if that's what you're doing, trust LeBron James. If that's what you're doing, I'm not arguing. I'm just, we'll see. We'll see in a couple of weeks. We will find out. You know, we've been waiting